All right, so perpendicular lines 03. This is the basic setup for how perpendicular lines work as opposed to parallel lines. You guys already have the solutions to these posted, but just the explanation of how I arrived at my numbers. So here we have a list of slopes. These would be the original A's of original lines in y equals ax plus b, and they've identified the slope for each of those, and we have to convert that into the negative reciprocal. So just the manual method versus the formula method. I'm just going to remind you. The manual method says, okay, if it's not already a fraction, make it into a fraction, which you do by putting it over the number 1. And then all you have to do is remember to flip that fraction, flip it, and change the sign. So flip and change the sign is the basic way that you're going to go ahead and convert the A of a line that you know to its perpendicular. So negative 2 divided by 1, when you flip it, becomes 1 over 2. And because it was originally a negative, it now becomes a positive. But before we do maybe the sign change, I'll show you what that looks like. So negative 2 over 1 becomes 1 over negative 2. So 1 divided by negative 2 is equal to negative 0.5. There goes the school bell again. And we want to remember that that negative 0.5 has to become then a positive. So my answer is 0.5. Over here on 3 over 1, when we flip that fraction, that becomes 1 over 3. But when we take the sign change of that, of course, 1 divided by 3 is decimal 3 repeating, and then we have to change the sign. So negative 0.3 repeating. And you can do it that way each and every time. Or you can remember the formula. The formula does the same thing. And the formula says, okay, take the number negative 1 and divide that by what the original A is, which in this case is 0.8. So I showed you that formula before. It does the same thing, right? It flips the fraction to the bottom, and then it changes the sign. Remember, the negative doesn't mean it becomes negative. If it was a positive, it'll be a negative. But if it was a negative, the negative of negative 0.6, for example, would become a positive. So the formula way it works, and remember that formula, I'll write it down for you over here. The perpendicular A will always be equal to negative 1 divided by whatever the original A was. So to do that, to use the formula, negative 1 divided by 0.8 equals negative 1.25. Right, so it was a positive, became a negative. Down here, negative 1 divided by 0.6, which was negative. Now watch, it will become a positive, positive 1.6 repeating. Negative 2.5 divided by 1, if you flip it, will become 1 over negative 2.5, and when you change the sign for this one, it will become a positive, but the formula would also do that for us. So remember, 1 negative divided by 2.5 negative 0.4. And there's your answers to number 1. Whether you use the formula or you remember to manually change the sign, doesn't matter. As long as you do it properly and consistently, rather, you'll always get the right answer.